Hi, it's Biggsy again. Catch up on some other sort of areas of research and so on I've been involved in. I'm doing some research projects into UFOs, missing people. I'm doing a global sort of analysis, looking at different types of beings and how they fit into our reality. Because, I mean, for anyone that's more involved, they realise that the world is a more stranger thing, stranger than anything. Looks like the sun's coming out, and you can probably see I'm lighting up, light body. Um, so that's always a good thing, absorbing all the energy, and that's going to go. So that's probably a light signal. Um, yeah. So basically, I'm looking also at the human origins of the DNA and how we fit into things. I mean, even how we're constructed. Um, I'd definitely say maybe the starting template for the human species was reptilian. Um, I think that we'll need to stick some mammal into us, and all primates' DNA has in some way been used as a part of this project. There's probably some other creatures in there. I was doing some analysis of different blood groups. AB doesn't exist in the primate of the species mixed together. Chimps have got A, gorillas got B. Now, the other blood group that's quite predominant in humans that's not in theirs is blood type O. It's almost a 50-50 ratio for our species, or a 40-40 if you want to look at it that way, which doesn't make sense because for their species, for say a gorilla or so on, they say minimal amount. Now I think it's actually that this is the planet of the apes. When your ETs come over here, there was already some primate species on the planet, and they would have evolved into something, or they might have remained a primate forever, who knows. But they added themselves to these primates as an experiment, and also probably to see compatibility and the blood types as well. And then after that, they've reintroduced them DNA into some reptilian type species. I think imagine it would also give them the ability to be warm-blooded as well. As you know, reptilians are cold-blooded creatures, so that would give that. And also the blood, having the same blood type as creatures on this planet will also give you the same immunity as well to the environment. Essentially, I can go into more the esoteric and esoterica type studies as well that I've been involved in. What are we? What is reality? Two primal things to focus on is that, well, within science, they know with light, there's either particle or waveforms. Now, as we're getting hit by light now, and then basically with everything started as a wave. The particle in itself is like a dimensional boundary, like a bubble. I'm going to be doing some more work on in my books, and within that there's the waves that form the data or structure within that dimension. But there has to be a separation between the walls. Otherwise, I mean, it's a bit like now, the light's coming down and it's white. If there was no filtration of light, everything would be just pure white. I wouldn't be able to see or differentiate or anything. What we have is different dimensions, and then there's no real difference between what's in these dimensions either. I mean, there's basically what you have within things. I mean, it's what CERN's been trying to do, break down, find this called particle. They want to find something solid. There is no solid thing. It's wave, and it's going to be the particle, which is a dimension. When a dimension collapses, you'll just find other dimensions inside it. This is the principle of it. Like if we go to the bubble example, if I blew a bubble, you'd see on the outside that it would contain all the light within there. It would have a rainbow of the light because it would enter that dimension, and within inside that, all the air molecules and so on would be their own separate dimensions as well. You would end up getting to a point where it'd be like you go into the nuclear physics of the atoms, but each of them would be individually a dimension within a dimension. So it goes further and further back. The planet in itself is a particle. That might sound really hard to accept, but in the size of scale of the universe, and imagining how atoms function, having the Earth as a particle, which means also that there's wave energy within it, which we know there is. The Earth does emit different frequencies of waves, and it's likely areas of it are hollow. So a hollow earth theory is strongly supported. I mean, if people wanted to talk about the flat earth side of things, well, that would fall into the wave. That comes into different type of dimensions. Basically, reality is multidimensional. Now, it's not just scale of up and down, it's also left and right in that sense. And that, for example, say for light, you've got white, and you've got the white side of it, and you've got the dark. But there's all the spectrum in between that connects them all. All of these different dimensions are active at once, so there's different frequencies. So all these frequencies are there. Each frequency is their own dimension. So I mean, within this world, there could be another world. There could be other things going on. We talk about things like shadow beings, and they seem to do things that normally humans would do. You know, just walk around, observe, and do stuff like that. It could be simply something living in another dimension that happens, that the filling of the dimensions, they'll be able to see into our universe. I think often ETs use these different type of dimensions. We could touch upon all that. That in essence, what we are is a waveform. Our body is no different than a particle. Our DNA basically assembles these dimensions and allows for these multi-dimensional existence or being as I am. The body is a light form, but my actual spirit and so on is a waveform. In a dimension, I'm just an existence of pure wave energy. Here I have some physical form because it's a case of light being slowed down, and that basically different speeds of light would affect the densities of matter. So this is the dimensional part. Dimensional's really shifted by density within the frequencies of the wave. In the same way as that sound will, say, go through some walls, different sounds, some frequency will be rebounded. It basically depends on that dimension and its density, and also what's already in there. So even for light, basically they talked about gravity leaking through different dimensions. Yes, that's true, but for all energies, with sound, it will leak through different dimensions, and also light waves in different dimensions. When people have entered into a portal and they've turned up into some another version of Earth, that's basically it. But the physical things will exist here, but it'll be an overlay. I mean, that's the easiest way to create a multi-dimensional form, is to place one existent frame reference over another. The time, for instance, how the time continuum works is just you've got different parallel dimensions working all at the same time, and basically the best course will be the one it follows. That's kind of the God consciousness, because you're creating simulators, a bit like a computer. You've got all these different computers. You're running the simulator, and the simulator is one of the most valuable simulators in the world because you've invested yourself into it. And once one of them fails, you shift over to the other simulator, because you can't have a system crash. Because if the universe crashed, you would just big bang and reset. How do you go forward from that? Now, there's also other things as well. They talk about time loops as well. This is quite interesting. I've experienced this, where I've had a few near kind of death possible experiences, but they've been inadvertently altered. I was in the rain once, and it was, and I wear glasses anyway, and it was raining fairly heavy. I was on my bike. I wanted to get home, and I went whizzing down the hill, and I said I don't really care, so I just went whizzing down the bottom. But then I realised, because my eyes were stinging, that there was a bloody car right in front of me, and close to having a collision with it.